Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Marlon Her, the Valuenaire here, the Valuenaire Vault. I'm welcome to episode number 5. For all my listeners out there, thank you for listening. I'm always going to keep bringing you some great valuable information, things I've learned, things I continue to learn, things I've experienced. Because we all have a story, and our story is something that's going to be able to help a lot of people. Okay, so Valuenaire Vault here to help build lives, businesses, and bank accounts. That's our number one goal here is to share millions in value, and to just really help individuals. Today we're going to talk a little bit about credit. All right, credit. Now we do have a channel on YouTube. You're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, we do have a channel dedicated to just credit repair videos. I actually have a credit repair company, and sending out letters every day to help people, and we have a pretty powerful process when it comes to our credit repair process. So, but today on the podcast and here on the Valuenaire Vault channel, we're going to talk a lot about credit. We're going to bring a lot of that value over here to this channel on YouTube, so be on the lookout for that, and a lot of that value here inside of the Valuenaire Vault. We're going to be doing interviews with people who do credit, and leading you over to to their process. But credit is huge. All right, I know a lot of people say cash is king. No, credit is king. When you're able to get access to capital to build your life, build your business, it doesn't matter, buy a house, buy a car, and it's all done through credit. And credit is very, very powerful. It's something that I had to learn over a period of time, because my credit was horrible. My journey with credit didn't start until my freshman year in college. Okay, now in my household, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people's households, you never talk about credit. Okay, and I'm just gonna be honest, especially in a lot of middle class or low middle class, a lot of black neighborhoods, we didn't talk about credit. All right, and I think I heard my dad mention the word credit one time, because I think he said, your mother messed with credit up, I had to fix it. That was it. It was never any education on that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to that. So I get to college, a house, Theo House University. I'm fresh on campus, and what do they have all over High Street? There was this bookstore there called Long's Bookstore, and if you went to Ohio State back in the day, you remember Long's Bookstore. It's been torn down, and campus is beautiful now. When I went there, it was like Beirut, war torn to bed. It was the South Campus was horrible, but as you can see, got my national championship Ohio State mug here. Hope I can say that. But and what they have on the campus, up and down High Street, were tables to fill out credit applications. All right, and they had some of the prettiest girls out there. I will never forget this, man. I was walking in front of Long's Bookstore. It was fine. I mean, she was dime. All right, y'all know what dime means. You know what dimes are. She was, oh my gosh, she was beautiful. And she was like, hey, you want to fill out an application? I was like, heck yeah. And they give you the application, and and they give you a t-shirt, and then I'm pretty sure I know she got hollered at least 50 million times that day, but I got her number. And I think we went on like 2 dates. But after that, I found, it was college. So Ohio State was like 60,000 students. It was women all over the place. Anyway, that's a different story. But and then like a couple weeks later, this call from Discover call comes in the mail, $1,500. I said, "Excuse me," and I went ham. And I was thinking, because I was a college student, I knew you had to pay it back, but hey, you're in college, they give you a break. No breaks, buddy. And it was horrible up until about 2015, 2016, where I decided to say, hey, I need to do something with my credit, because my wife has great credit. Her credit's like in the 8,000s, and she could buy the moon on credit if she wanted to. But I was like, Marta, quit farting around and get your stuff together. So I started doing some research, and I bought this $10 program, that $20 program, and it worked for a little bit. But then I already started to learn about how credit works and what causes your credit to go up, what causes your credit score to go down. How do you fix your credit? How do you get that stuff off of your credit? And once I learned it and I started applying these things, and my life changed. I went from a 505 to a 710. Now, I know a lot of you want to know, well, how long did it take, Marlon? 11 months. Okay? This is not pixie dust process, especially if you want to do it the right way. Okay? Now, I know there's some people out there, yeah, we can do a credit sweep in 30 seconds. Listen, you do not want those individuals handling your credit. Okay? But yeah, it took me 11 months. So from 1998, the mid to late 90s to 2016, I had horrible credit. And it took me 11 months to get it to where I need to be, where it makes a lot of sense. 11. Now, a lot of people, oh, that's too low. That's too low. Well, listen, if you've been messing your credit up for the last 5, 15, 20 years, 11 months is not too long. If you want to have strong, ongoing strong credit, strong, ongoing, or ongoing, strong, however you want to say it, credit, it takes time. Yes, it does. It's like planting seeds. You plant seeds in the spring, you get a harvest in the fall. Now, I know it's not 11 months, but it takes time. And so what I'm going to do is kind of go over a couple of things here inside of credit that a lot of people just aren't aware of. And I'm going to give you some things that you can do to help yourself. Now, some of these things, yes, you will have to get a professional. You will have to get a professional involved in your credit repair process. But a lot of you can do yourself. Where you get the professional involved is the type of letters and the process they use. Now, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this here right now, okay? Now, when it comes to fixing your credit, there's two things that are really important with your credit. You have your credit score and you have your credit health, okay? So let me give you the difference. Credit score is what gets you in the door, okay? So when you go to sit down with someone, they look at your credit score, you got a 680, 690, 520, 480, 700, 768. That's your credit score. And your score is determined by how you treat your open accounts, right? Your open credit card accounts, your open personal loans, your open student loans, your open car note, your open your open home mortgage, open accounts. Now, whatever your score is determined by, are they paid on time? Are they never late? And what's the history? So let's take a look at both of those. You have revolving, you have installments. Okay, now let's look at revolving. Revolving is credit cards and credit lines. And when it comes to credit cards and credit lines, these are the most powerful parts of your credit. Okay, your credit lines, your credit cards are revolving are the most powerful part because they're the most challenging to keep under control. So looking at any late payments, they're looking at do you pay on time? Do you pay more? Do you pay early? And the amounts, like the limits on it, okay? And the history. How long have you had this revolving account? So once that account reaches 1 year old, no late payments, paid on time or paid early, and the limit is like 5,000 or more, that is a positive. Oh, and the utilization. The utilization, you want to keep it between 2 and 10%. That is a powerful, strong account on your credit report, and you want to keep it there at all the way up until like 10 years plus. Okay, my wife has a credit card she's had since 1997. That thing is stellar, absolutely stellar. Okay, so that is revolving. Now let's look at installment. Same thing. No late payments, paid on time, you pay early, do you pay more, and the amount. And installment accounts help your credit as you pay it down. So every time you pay it down, it helps your credit score because it's a yes, this amount is going down. But your credit score is determined by how you deal with your open accounts. Okay, so if you're looking to get your credit fixed, especially if you're having someone else do it, they are not responsible for what you do with your open accounts. So because I have a lot of clients that, what's going on? My credit score is not going up. I'm saying, well, let's look at your open accounts. Well, you got 2 late payments right here. Whose fault is that? Well, I missed 2 payments. Well, that has nothing to do with the credit repair company or us or whoever you decide to work with. Okay, so now you got credit score that gets you in the door. Then there's credit health. You got credit score, which gets you in the door. Credit health, which gets you the wealth. That means get you the money. So remember that statement. Credit score gets you in the door. Credit health gets you the wealth. Okay, so what's the credit health? The credit health is and I'm gonna go over all these, individually here. The credit health is they're looking at your information, they're looking at the number of inquiries you have, number of late payments, charge-offs, collections, public records. All of that is considered credit health. And those are what we call credit score blockers. This was coined by one of my mentors here in the credit game, Jesse Miller and Rodney Peete. Those are called credit score blockers. They're blocking the score. So based on how strong or unstrong, all right, your open accounts are, well, you have credit score blockers. Too much information, too many inquiries, too many late payments, collections, charge-offs, public records, all right? And those block your score. Now, when you're looking to get your credit fixed, you are looking to remove the credit score blockers while keeping up with your positive accounts. And if you don't have enough open positive accounts, adding more. Okay, now you can add open positive accounts by adding on some credit building accounts and building them up. That means having on-time payments for at least 6 months or more, or there's some accounts that you can purchase. They're called authorized user accounts. Now, the thing about purchasing authorized user accounts is that they don't stay on your credit long. All right, these are just for a quick boost when you're ready to go make a big purchase and you need your credit score to look good, you need your credit health to look good with some great accounts. But you want to be careful with how many authorized user accounts you have on there, especially when you're looking to go purchase like a big purchase, like a home. They don't want to see too many authorized user accounts because they want to know how you have done with your credit. Okay, so I know I'm like all over the place. If you need to go back and listen to this again, it's all good. But I'm just giving you some good stuff. So the goal of repairing your credit is to get rid of the credit score blockers while keeping your open accounts that are positive, and if you need to, adding other open positive accounts either that you build up or that you buy. Okay, that's what makes up your credit score. Now, let's talk about these credit score blockers and ways to get these things removed off your credit report. Okay, so before we do that, let's take a sponsor break real quick. We plan on having millions of listeners and hundreds of thousands of downloads, and we want individuals who buy a sponsor section here with us to be able to benefit from what we're doing. All right, so let's pause for a sponsor break. All right, perfect. So let's get back to these credit score blocks that we're talking about, and then we'll talk about the ways to remove them. All right, so first credit score blocker is having too much information on your credit report. That means addresses, names, phone numbers, email addresses, place of employment. When you have too much old information on your credit report, it could cause a little red flag. Why is that? Because this is part of credit health. Why would it raise a red flag? Well, when they're looking to give you the money, they're gonna be like, okay, this person has like 50 addresses on their credit report, and if we give them this money, where are they gonna run to? Okay, they've lived in California, they've lived in Georgia, they've lived in Ohio, they lived in Washington State, they lived in Texas. Where are they gonna run to? Are we gonna be able to find them when they don't want to pay anymore? Okay, that's what they're thinking. They're thinking that this new account is going to be a future missed payment, a future collection, a future charge-off. That's why your credit score goes down when you get a new account in your credit report. Or your credit score goes down when you get a new inquiry because it can be a future missed something. Until you make a few payments that let them to show the bureau otherwise, that's when your score goes down. Okay? So the goal here is to remove that information. There's a simple letter that you can write to the bureau that says, hey, this is my real information. Remove everything else. All right. And inside of our program, we have something like that we do for the clients. Okay. Now, what's the second thing? The second thing you look at is the number of inquiries. Now, inquiries are they don't hurt your credit score a lot. They don't count towards a lot, but they do hurt your credit health. And here's how they hurt your credit health. If you have, let's say you have 5 open accounts, right? You have 5 open accounts, but you have 20 inquiries, all right? So what it looks like to the individual that you're looking to get money from, it looks like you got rejected 15 times. So Why do they get rejected? And that raises a red flag. Okay, now the thing about removing inquiries is that inquiries are a factual entry. That means somebody had to ask for credit in order for that inquiry to be added to the credit report. All right, so getting these things removed or reduced, it's a little challenging. It does take some time. It's gonna take letters going to the bureaus. It's also going to take letters going to the actual individuals that put the inquiry on your credit report. Okay, so letters are going to have to go to both areas at the same time. And after a couple of times of doing that, then you'll start to see those inquiries start to dwindle down. Now, the most you can get, the most points you can get on your credit report for removing inquiries is 55. All right, it's 55. Here's why. Listen to this. Listen to this. All right, this is some math. This is some math. Let me take a sip of the Buckeye coffee here. 2014 championship. It tastes like championship coffee. Okay, here we go. So you're going to get 55 points because here's why. Now, there's a total of 550 different credit scores that you can have, from 350 all the way up to 800. All right, actually, it's 850. Yeah, from 300 to 850. All right, there's 550 different credit scores you can have. Okay, so what you do is take 550 and divide it by 10% because inquiries only make up 10% of your credit score. So the most points you can get, so you take 550 times 10%, that's 55. The most you can get is 55 points added to your credit score by getting any number of inquiries removed. It can be one, it can be, all 20, but the most is 55, okay? But the most important thing here is getting those inquiry numbers down so that it helps with the credit health, okay? Now, what's the next thing? Late payments. Boom, boom, boom. Those crazy late payments. All right, now, whose fault is for late payments? That's your fault. All right, so if you hire somebody to fix your credit, or you're looking to do it yourself, those late payments are your fault. Whatever caused it to happen, all right, it could be a number of things. You lost your job, you got laid off, you got sick, you just didn't want to pay, right? You just I ain't paying that, and now you got late payments. So that's your fault. Now here's the thing about late payments, okay? The number of late payments count. So, and you're looking at late payments within a 48-month period. All right, and of course, it's moving. It's a moving 48 months. So every time it's a new month goes by, it's another 48. It's a rolling 48 months. Okay, that's the term I was looking for. A rolling 48 months. So, so if you have three or less late payments in the last 48 months, it's less challenging to get those late payments removed. Now they're not really removed. It's just that your account is recalculated, and now it's showing as everything paid on time. Okay. Now, if it's more than 3 late payments, then there's some decisions that need to be made. Those more than 3 late payments could be try to get removed, or you may have to remove that account. And if that account is an open account, when that account updates and shows back up on your credit, there's a good chance it can show without the payment history. And without the payment history, you no longer have those late payments. Now, the only thing with that is that if you have an account that you have for like 3, 4, 5 years, and it has a great payment history, but you have like 6 late payments on there, well, those late payments are killing you. They're killing you. And I would rather lose the late payments. I would rather lose the payment history and the late payments at the same time. Like you can start over. You can do another 5 years, or you can build that account back up. But losing those late payments will really help. Okay. So now the next thing are collection accounts. You know what? We're gonna do collections last. The next thing is charge-offs. Let's talk about charge-offs. Charge-offs could be like a repossession as well too. Charge-offs could also be a foreclosure. Anything where an account is still with the original lender, it's closed, it shows charge off, and there could be a balance or not be a balance. All right, so let's talk about charge offs. Charge offs are a little challenge, are one of the most challenging accounts to remove because they're still with the original lender, and most times charge offs still have a balance on them. There's a balance owed. Okay, now, and then sometimes, well, we'll talk about the ones that, well, let's do that now. The $0 balance charge-offs are less challenging to remove because there's no money owed. It's just on there to just stick it to you, to be honest. All right, the credit mafia and those the individual that still has that account, they just want to stick it to you. It's sad, but they are less challenging to remove. Let me fix my mic here, okay? I'm getting excited. They're less challenging to remove, okay? But charge-offs with a balance are very challenging to remove. And here's why. First of all, there's a balance. Nothing you can do about that. All right? Second of all, it's still with the original lender. Third of all, they can still sue you for the debt if it's within the statute of limitations. Now, every state has a statute of limitations of the amount of time a company can collect on the account. Well, they can sue you for that. So when you're dealing with charge-offs, you want to be careful. Right? You can like stir the pot and be like, uh-oh, they're trying to do something, let's get them. And then, now you're dealing with court, now you're dealing with garnishments and things like that, okay? So you want to be careful. I know you want to get it removed, but you got to be careful. I'm just letting you know that you could stir the pot when you're dealing with charge-offs. Now, they can be removed, but these take time. When I told you 11 months to fix my credit, most of that was those last little charge-offs. They were hanging on. Right? You're like on the ledge. You're that one little hanging on but the pinky. Just like, they holding on. Okay? But it was a fight. But over a period of time, there's a good chance you can win. All right? So that is that with charge-off. Now, an account is not settled until it's all paid off. So if you're challenging or you're battling that charge off and they send you a letter saying, hey, you owe. Yeah, you owe. Especially on the charge off. They say, well, yes, you owe. Because when you go to battle that, the bureaus are going to send them a notification saying, hey, this person is battling this account. What say you? All right. What say you, Capital One? What say you, Bank of America? And Bank of America means that I say they owe us $59,000. And we ain't going anywhere. But they can be removed. It's just that it's a little tricky. Okay? Same thing with public records. I'm going to throw public records in here as well, too. Public records are challenging because public records are not only posted on the credit report, they're also posted in they're actually posted in a third party, two third parties. We got one that's called PACER. PACER stands for Public Access to Court Electronic Records. PACER. And it's public record. And then we have LexisNexis, and LexisNexis is an information reporting agency. That's all they do is report public information. And so, since your bankruptcy or any public record is a matter of public record, okay, your public record is a matter of public record. LexisNexis has the right, not really though, but to post that public record. Who they gonna post it to? The credit bureau, and that is absolutely horrible. It is a horrible thing that they do to individuals. So yes, you're going to have to battle PACER, you're going to have to battle LexisNexis, you're going to have to battle the bureaus. Now, some individuals, they're able to remove things a lot faster based on getting old information removed first, based on blocking some information over at LexisNexis or opting out. That's a whole different process. Well, that's not different, but that's part of the process. And then they battle the bureau and then to get that removed. But it is a battle. I'm not going to lie. It's a battle. You could be going to battle with them for a couple of months, maybe even up to a year. It's a battle. I'm just going to let you know. I've had clients that we got one removed off. We got the bankruptcy removed off for two, and we're still on one, and now we're battling it out. But guess what? We're going to keep going until we get the results we're looking for. That's the thing about it, okay? So then the last thing I want to talk about is collection accounts. Now, collection accounts are probably one of the most, and I'm going to throw medical collections in there as well too, are probably one of the most easy to get off the credit report because you have no contractual agreement with the collection agency. You see, once that original lender, original debtor or creditor forfeits that over to the collection agency, all right, they have no right to collect on that money. And there is no contractual agreement between you and that collection agency. You honestly, you don't owe them anything. You do, but you don't. Okay? Even you get one of those letters from a collection attorney's office, it's still just a collection account. So if you are paying on a collection account right now, please stop it. You owe them nothing. Nothing at all. Okay? Please stop paying them right now. And these but there are times that we are battling, or that you may be battling a collection account as well too. Okay, that's the reason I want to put that one last, and medical bills as well, because those violate all kind of laws. There are times where there are certain collection companies that are looking to collect on you, and they can't even collect in your state. And there's a letter out there called a collection validation letter, and actually we give away these two letters for free. We give away a cease phone call letter and a collection validation letter. So if you're receiving any letters from collection companies, you can send them this letter and say, hey, validate this, bruh. All right. So those are some things that, areas of your credit that are looked at when you're looking to get fix your credit. And there's two ways you can fix your credit. We have, I'm looking through my window. If you're watching on YouTube, like, what am I looking at? I'm looking right out my window. It's cars going up and down the street right now. But you can just, there's credit disputing, there's credit challenging. All right, credit disputing, credit challenging. Disputing is saying that this is not my account. That's what disputing is. So when you dispute something, hey, this is not my account. And disputing works, but not as much as it used to, because now you need to have documentation stating why this is not your account. Why is it, when you send a dispute letter, hey, this is not mine, why is it yours? And the bureau's looking at you like, okay. Not saying they don't work, but they're not as effective as challenge letters. Now, challenge letters are saying, yes, this is my account, but are you reporting my accounts across all three bureaus based on this process called the Metro 2 compliance? All right, and Metro 2 compliance is a process that the bureaus must follow, and when it comes to reporting your information on your credit report. So when you're challenging, you're throwing their process back in their face. Like, okay, you say you're doing this, show us that you're doing it. Can you certify that the way you're reporting my accounts is the right way? If not, you have to remove it. So the challenging process is so much more effective, because all we're doing is using something that they're supposed to be doing anyway and throwing it back in their face. All right? And so now there's a lot of individuals out there that programs that offer challenge letters, but you really have to pay for those. They're not out there like those $10, $20 programs. And most individuals have actually challenge letters can't sell them. They have to go through the actual program. That's, you have to actually get them through the program, because these are like proprietary letters. And it's a very, very powerful process. Okay. But I'm going to have access to our program in the description area of this podcast. It's going to be in the description area of the on the YouTube channel, and also we now have a website. We have a podcast website where everything is set up like a blog. So it's going to be a blog post. We're going to type some things up. So everything we talked about in the podcast is going to be typed up, and it's going to be links and information that you can get access to for credit repair and all that kind of stuff. All right, so. Motor the Valuenaire here with the Valuenaire Vault. This is, credit repair part 1, how to repair your credit, or credit information part 1 is going to be, we're going to add a lot of great information in here concerning credit. But I just want to kind of give you an overview on that. All right, so Motor the Valuenaire Vault. I want to thank you for listening. If you're on YouTube, I want to thank you for watching. If you're on the podcast page, make sure you leave a comment down below on the blog post. Ask your questions, leave your comments, and make sure you click on all the value around the blog post as well too. So I want to thank you all for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.